All right. Now we're going to do the literacy lesson for Kimberly. Her literacy goal right now is that she'll be able to match the letters in her name. I sent you on that email a bunch of pictures of it'll have a giant K and an I, an M and a B, and there's 2 pages on each. I drew these out. If you aren't able to print those, you could just draw these as well and have 2 of each letter. So I have 2 Ks and I have 2 Is. You could choose how you want to do this. If you want, you could have both a letter K and a letter I. That's just what I have right now. You could do a different letter in front of her so she can see it. And then give her one of the other 2 so that she can match it and say, Kimberly, match K, and then give it to her, and then she's supposed to put it on K. I feel like the one sheet is really useful because both letters are like stuck to a piece of paper, so then the only free floating thing would be the tiny letter. So in the past, when we had both individual letters, there were 3 different things that could be easily pushed off the table. So having that printed piece, so if you wanted, you could take just like a piece of paper and write like K and then I on it, have that down, say Kimberly match K, and then she puts the K on. If you wanted to just work on letter identification and seeing if she's able to understand which letter is which, you could start with just a field of 1, which is the letter K. You can say, Kimberly, touch K, and then just do 1 finger points, and she's supposed to touch it. If she hits it, just make sure that you say 1 finger point, and then have her, like you can mold her hand again, so that she touches it with 1. So that's one skill of just identifying the letter itself, touch K. And then if you bring out another letter, like the letter I, you have both in front of her, you say, Kimberly, touch K. If she touches I, just like scoot I away a little bit and then repeat it. Kimberly, touch K. And then if she keeps trying to touch I, then you'll do hand over hand next. You'll say, Kimberly, touch K. And then grab her hand and then move it to the letter K and say, K, that's K. So that you give her the opportunity to try, but that if she fails, then the 3rd time that she tries it, it's called errorless learning, where there's no way that she could possibly get it wrong. If she does it right, keep doing it in the same spot for a while. We noticed that for a while, if you asked her, like, Kimberly, touch in whatever letter or whatever color, she would just keep touching the one on her right side. So having it be on the left or in a different spot, and then focusing on the same 2 or 1 letters until you know that she's mastered it. So like Kimberly, touch K, and then she goes for I, and then you redirect. K, that's K. Additionally, you can do the matching thing, like Kimberly, match K, and you're using the word match. If you want as well, you could bring up the letter to your mouth so that she has to look right here. It'll be like, Kimberly, match K, and then give it to her. She'll take it and then see where she puts it. If she puts it on K, again, you could do the pieces of popcorn again, where you give her a piece of popcorn. This is a similar situation where you could have that working for a chart again, so that she works for Bubbles or she works for Elsa. But yeah, that's how you would work with 2 letters. If you wanted a 3rd letter, you would put all 3 in front of her. Pretend this is where M is. You'd say, Kimberly, touch M, and then see where she'd go. You don't want to start introducing more letters in front of her, like 3 or 4, until you know for a fact that she confidently can identify the previous letters. So, excuse me. So like Kimberly, touch M, but you know that she hasn't quite gotten K yet. You don't want to introduce M. Then you go back to 2, and then like if she's especially distracted that day, or like kind of having a rough morning, you could always like postpone it and then try it again later, but start at the same spot that you were at, so that she gets exposed to the same lesson over and over again. So like Kimberly, touch K, she goes for I. You keep redirecting and doing hand over hand errorless learning for like, K, this is K. If having 2 things in front of her that aren't on like a sheet of paper like this, and she tends to want to swipe it, just have the 1 thing in front of her and you hold it with your hand, and then you say, Kimberly, touch K, and then she has to do the 1 finger points. If you want, another idea I had was you could like physically tape the picture to the table, like scotch tape, masking tape, whatever tape you have, so that it doesn't move. So then if you have the letter K down here and it's taped and it's secure, you say, Kimberly, touch K, and she tries to hit it or move it, it can't move. So then she'll be able to be more successful if she's in a mood where like she wants to throw things more. And then if this one's permanently like attached and then you give her another K, she's able to put it down where like things aren't moving. If she puts it down and like wind or whatever moves the piece of paper that has the letter on it, then things kind of get pushed apart and then there's like too many things in front of her. So those are different ways that you can work on letter identification. And again, if you aren't able to print the things that I emailed you, you could just take a piece of paper, any paper, and just write big letters. You also can do varying sizes. I made these like kind of small-ish. I cut a paper into like fourths. But if you wanted, you could have a big letter K on like a whole piece of paper, and it's just big. It's her center line of focus, so that's all she's looking at. Like, this is K, this is K. And then you could keep doing that. Sometimes we do that in class where, like after a weekend, to make sure that the kids still understand what it is, just focus on that one letter in front of them, or like touch K, touch K, touch K, and then bring out the letter I and still have her touch the letter K, so that you know that in various scenarios, she still knows that letter. Hopefully this was helpful, and I look forward to hearing how it goes.